Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Aqueduct Racetrack here on Saturday. It is March the 10th, 2018. It's Gotham Day from Aqueduct. Going to look at all the stakes races on the program, but before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at Horse Racing Kit 5 for more selections for race courses around the world. It's just an excellent day of races. It's an all stakes pick four, late pick four from Aqueduct, which I really love. So let's get on to it. We're going to look at races 7, 8, 9, and 10. So the final four races on the program. Starting off, race number 7 from Aqueduct. Beginning of the late pick 4, the 7th race is the 63rd running of the Stymie Stakes. It's going for a purse of $150,000. It's for 3-year-olds and upwards. Field of 7 horses going the distance of ground of 1,600 meters, if you want to go by that, or the 1-mile trip on the Aqueduct main track. And this it's 1,600 meters or a mile, and I show the diagram. It just gives me a second to look down at my notes. Just bear with me. Can't do two things at the same time. Sorry, I'm stupid like that. My top pick in this race, I like the number 6 horse. If I can ever get my iPad to load, number 6, Vulcan's Forge. Gonna go 6-5-3-1 in the superfecta. 6-5-3-1 super. Top pick number 6, Vulcan's Forge. 5-2. Top Fletcher trains this one. Junior Alvarado gets the leg up. Most recently, this horse had to start about 5.5 weeks ago now. The 27th of January at Aqueduct. 7 furlongs, 1,400 meters in the grade 3 toboggan. This horse finished second by 2.5 lengths that day. And, was way out of it early, but was coming at the end after a little bit wide at the beginning of the stretch. Got up for second. Wasn't a bad run that day at the end, but to win today, this horse is going to have to save some ground. If she could save some ground from the outside, I do think she can win. I do think the 1-turn miles are up this horse's alley. Also, start before the 30th of December. That came at Aqueduct, 1 mile, 1,600 meters, an optional 80 claimer. This horse won by 1.25 lengths. It was a small field of 5 horses, but this horse sat towards the back of the small field of 5 horses and then took off clear in the stretch. Very nice victory. But just to go back to the start that day, this horse didn't break all that well, so just keep that in mind. This horse has a tendency of doing that. And then before that, in the Cigar Mile at Aqueduct, 1,600 meters on the 2nd of December, horse finished 7th by 13 3/4 lengths. Sharp Azteca probably ran the race of his life that day. This horse didn't have the best of breaking that day from the gate, a little bit wide. He's under the drive early on. It just wasn't his day to win. But I do think the 1-turn mile is up this horse's alley. Aqueduct, he should do well here. Watch out for him to run a big one. To the pick 4 now. I'll use him, number 6, Vulcan's Forge. I'll use the 5-horse Watershed. Watershed is a pretty weird horse. When he should run well, he doesn't. Against tougher horses, he's held his own occasionally, but sometimes he'll just run against the crap horses. He'll run shit races, which is very weird, because his last 2 he ran against absolutely crappy horses, and he ran absolute shit. He ran, but if you go back to earlier this year in the Ben Halley at Keeneland against tougher horses, he won by 2 3/4 lengths and ran a great race. And then he won a very tough optional claimer at Lowndes optional claimer last winter at Gulfstream very nicely. But I do think off the layoff that horse can maybe upset here, sitting a little bit closer at 6-1. I'll put him on a pick 4 ticket. So I'll go. I'll basically go too deep in this race to start it off, the late pick 4. So to recap my bets for the 7th from Aqueduct, it's the 63rd running of the Stymie. Gonna go with the 6-horse Vulcan's Forge. Gonna go 6-5-3-1 in the superfecta. I'll go 6-5 in the multi-race. So now let's get on to race number 8 from Aqueduct. The 8th race, it's the 5th running of the Heavenly Prize Invitational. Purse $150,000. It's your fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and upwards. Fields of 8 horses going the distance of ground here of 1,600 meters or 1 mile on the Aqueduct main track. 1,600 meters, 1 mile. Top pick in this race, I like the number 3 horse here. Number 3, Highway Star. Gonna go 3-6-7-1 in the superfecta. 3-6-7-1 super. Top pick number 3, Highway Star. I'm gonna single this one in this race. The other horses, I just don't think they're that good to really beat Highway Star. I think Highway Star has run some very game races basically, and I do think she's much the best. But 3-6-7-1 for me in the superfecta, but single the 3-horse Highway Star to the pick 4. This 5-year-old mare by Girolamo, getting the leg up of Joe Rocco Jr. This horse hasn't been out since the 2nd of December at Aqueduct, 1,600 meters, 1 mile to go for 1 handicap. This horse finished second by a length that day. Just stalked that day, a little bit wide, but was coming at the end. It wasn't a bad run, I must say. This is a kind of horse that really likes to one turn a lot, a lot. I cannot stress that enough. She likes Aqueduct's main track. She's 4-3 on it. She shouldn't run well, but the start before the Go for One came in San Diego at Del Mar. 7 furlongs, 1,400 meters in the British Cup Filly Mare Sprint. Wide post dress. She finished 11th by 14.5 lengths, and I think the British Cup Filly Mare Sprint in 2017 was just an absolutely weird race in my opinion. If you told me that day that Bargold was going to win, I would have said you're on crack. I saw Bargold win, and I still think, how did that horse win? I wouldn't have picked that horse in a million years. It takes a very smart person to say that you would never have a horse even after they won. But I have to admit, I would never have Bargold in that race. Maybe against a New York bred stakes race, but not there. It's still weird how she won. But, this horse in the British Cup Filly Mare Sprint didn't break all that well. It really weakened out of it. Just wasn't her day to win. I expected Bargold to run. It's very similar to this horse. But, just a weird race for this horse that day. Before that, in the Gallant Bloom at Belmont, 6.5 on the 24th of September, horse won by a neck. Sat towards the back of the pack that day, but was driving at the end. Got the lead and, just got there. Very nice victory for this horse. And then the Ballerina at Saratoga, 7 furlongs, August 26th. Horse for the second by a head, was coming at the end, but it wasn't a bad run. The last time this horse ran the 1 turn mile before the Go for Wand came at Belmont on the slop in the Ruffian last May. This horse won by a half a length, coming like anything at the end. A great victory for this horse. When you start listening to yourself, I should have used a different word for that, but this horse was really jogging at the end. An all-around great race in the Ruffian. Last time this horse ran the 1 turn and won on the 1 turn, but she's must the best in this race, and I do think she should run well, so watch out for this one. So to recount my bets for the 8th from Aqueduct, it's the 5th running of the Heavenly Prize Invitational. Gonna go with 3-horse Highway Star. Gonna go 3, 6, 7, 1 in the superfecta. I'll go single the 3-horse in my multi-race pick 4. So now let's get on to race number 9 from Aqueduct. And the 9th race is the 43rd running of the Tom Fool Handicap Grade 3 purse $200,000, which for 4-year-olds and upwards. Field of 10 horses going to the post of 1,200 meters, if you want to go by that, or 6 furlongs on the main track. And great to see these races back on the main track. The inner track just always had this depressing sight for me. I never liked it. I don't like winter, so the inner track signals winter for me. But it's great to be on the main track full time now. So winter is a little less depressing. But this Tom Fool handicap is not depressing. It's very nice, and it's bit wide open in my eyes, I think. My top pick, I'm going to go with the 4-horse 3-5 India. I'm going to go 4-2-7-3 in the superfecta. 4-2-7-3 super. Into the multi-race now, I would definitely use my top pick, the 4-horse. Be stupid if I didn't. I'm going to use the 2-horse Class C Class, because I think she could run a big one, or he could run a big one. I'm going to use the 7-horse Life in Shambles also. I think he could run a big one. And I also think the 3-horse Great Stuff can run a big one. So I'm going to go 4 deep in this race. That's why I singled last race and went 2 deep in the first one. This is the most wide open race, I think, of the sequence, and this is the race you're going to see a nice price come in, I think. But 4-2-7-3 in the super and in the multi-race for me. But my top pick, number 4, 3-5 India, 5-1. Chad Brown trains his 5-year-old horse by Street Hero. Manuel Franco is on this one. Getting blinkers on today for the first time ever, but most recently his horse had to start the 23rd December, came here at Aqueduct, 6 furlongs on the slop in the Gravesend. His horse finished 3rd by 3/4 of a length that day, a little bit wide that day, a little stalking the pace. His horse just couldn't get a good closing kick at the end. I'm going to blame it on the very wet weather. I think off the layoff, hopefully with drier ground. I don't think we're expecting rain this weekend anymore. Hopefully with faster ground, this horse should run well. The Gravesend in 2017 came up a little bit stronger than years past, so just keep that in mind also. But start before in the Fall Highway at Aqueduct, 6 furlongs, 23rd November. Horse finished second by 1 3/4 lengths that day, and this horse was a little bit wide that day. Got the lead and then got caught right before the wire behind Stall Walking Dude. This horse was heavyweight, so just keep that in mind. I cannot stress that enough. And then the Phoenix at Keelan, 6 furlongs, October the 6th. Horse finished 4th by 3/4 length. Had a horrible start that day. Broke last that day. Had a small he got up to the lead in the stretch and then kind of hit the wall in the final few strides. The closer got to him that day. It just wasn't his day to win. But I don't think this race is so tough where this horse can't win. I do think this horse should run well here today off a break, so watch out for this horse. So to recap my bets for the ninth from Aqueduct, it's the 43rd running of the Grade 3 Tom Fool Handicap. Gonna go with the 4-horse 3-5 India. Gonna go 4-2-7-3 in the superfecta. So now let's get on to race number 10 from Aqueduct. The 10th race is the featured. It's the 66th running of the Gotham Stakes, Grade 3, purse $300,000. It's for 3-year-olds here. Field of 9 3-year-olds going the distance of ground of 1,600 meters or 1 mile on the Aqueduct main track. And 1,600 meters, a mile. And I believe this is the first time since about 2005 or 6 that the Gotham's going to be back on the main track to a 1-turn mile. One of my favorite Gothams probably comes in 2004. Was there that day, and it's just one of those days you always remember. Can't remember who won, but that was I don't remember the Gotham that day, but earlier that day Mike Smith came from California to ride in 2004 Gotham Day, and he was on a part of an entry horse that I think got bet up to he was like 5-1, and all weekend that Friday when we got the racing for him, me and my old man, I said to him, we're betting this horse and we're putting a lot of money on him, and I think I had being 8 years old at the time or 9 years old, I think I had, $25 on him when I saved from doing stupid jobs. But I had $25 on a 5-1 shot at 9 years old. That's a good little investment. But that always reminds me of the Gotham from 2004. Weird story, I know. But back to the race now. This race, this is probably one of the better Gothams in quite a few years. You have some very nice, classy horses running in it. My top pick, gonna go to the 9-horse. My top pick, number 9, Enticed. Gonna go 9-6-3-5 in the superfecta. 9-6-3-5 super. I'm gonna go with the 9 and 6 in the multi-race pick 4. So it's a very good pick 4 ticket. It's very affordable, I think. But my top pick, number 9, Enticed. 7-2, 3-year Colt by Medaglia d'Oro. Godolphin owned. Kier McLaughlin trains. Junior Alvarado gets the leg up. This horse was supposed to be, was cross-entered at Tampa Bay to run in the Tampa Derby. That was only because we had snow on Wednesday here in New York, and the plane carrying this horse from Florida was delayed, and just in case they were going to run this horse at Tampa if they couldn't get to New York, but this horse got to New York and he's going to run here today, so just keep that in mind. So throw out the Tampa little fact first. But this horse's most recent outing came on the 3rd of February, came at Gulfstream, a mile 16th in Grade 2 Holy Bowl. This horse finished 4th by 14 3/4 lengths that day, had a good inside post draw that day, but as the 2-1 favorite, this horse just never really was into the race. I do think he might have needed that race off the layoff. I think coming here to a 1-turn mile, sitting a little bit closer, he should run very well. Start before the 25th of November, my birthday at Churchill, mile 16, 1,700 meters in the Grade 2 Kentucky Jockey Club. This horse won by head. He just stalked the pace that day, and he closed up well, just getting up there. A nice victory for this horse. He took very good advantage of the long stretch at Churchill. And then before that, the 7th of October at Belmont, 1 mile, 600 meters, and the Grade 1 Champagne. This horse finished 3rd by 3.5 lengths. He broke a little bit on top that day, but then went on to sit about mid-pack. He closed up well to get the 3rd place finish, but it wasn't a bad run in the Champagne. And then he broke his maiden very nicely in the mud at Saratoga, winning by 1 3/4 length sprinting. Decent run, but I do like him here. Just his running style, stalking the position, stalking the front runner. And I do think he should run well, so he'll be used as my top pick and also used in my multi-race pick 4. So to recap my bets for the 10th from Aqueduct, it's the 66th running of the Grade 3 Gotham. Gonna go with the number 9 horse Enticed. Gonna go 9-6-3-5 in the superfecta. I'll go 9-6 in my pick 4 wager. So good luck to all. Please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5. Good luck, everybody.